Okay.
All right. Okay. So for the first episode, we're going to figure out how to do this. And we wanted to start with who we actually are and how we all ended up at Stability Mental Health. My name is Danny. I'm the practice manager at Stability Mental Health. I'm joined by Courtney, our medical director and psychiatric nurse practitioner, and Kate, who is our therapist.
Hi.
We just wanted to meet up. We want to kind of talk about the clinical side of mental health, the business side of mental health care, and all the funny things in between. I guess let's just do a little catch up. How's everybody actually doing today?
You want to go first, Kate?
I'm doing well. I'm very dehydrated, so I'm gonna be sipping on my big cup during this. Yeah, all's well. I'm just getting ready to pack up for a river trip I'm leaving on tomorrow to take care of my soul a little bit. So I'll be kind of frantically packing for that right now, getting ready to be off the grid for a little bit. Yeah,
Love it.
Is it in Washington?
it's in Idaho. I'm on the Sand River.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's so pretty over there.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Hopefully, the water's not too low. How are you both doing on this Wednesday?
It's hot here, really hot. It's like 90 degrees. We don't have air conditioning here, so I've got like a little window unit. I know. I didn't figure that out. I didn't think to ask until after we moved in here.
Yeah.
That's typical. I'm like, I just assumed, and then because it's like, it should have air conditioning. Like it's hot in here, so I've got my window unit, but still.
That's crazy. It's hot here in Texas too, but it's always hot. We have plenty of AC, thank God.
It's good.
And today's good. What is it, Wednesday? I feel like today was kind of a crazy busy day in the office or in our home offices. But yeah, doing good. Just prepping for a trip I leave on Monday too also. And that is the beauty of working.
I know. I was going to say we're all going to be gone at the same time, I think, because I leave Saturday for Carmel and then come back next Thursday. So I think we're all going to be like working from or working less or whatever from wherever we are.
I love it.
That's the best part
beauty.
about health. Yeah.
All right. I guess we can go into just like why we want to do a podcast, like what we want to talk about, what our goals are. Obviously, this is our first episode, so we're revealing stuff as we go. So I guess on like the business side, my side is just kind of an inside look on what a small virtual practice does, like how we got it set up, what we find are the best practices and policies. I work all within the credentialing and hiring and patient communication, basically all front desk stuff. So kind of explaining how we work and how we found to have a successful practice after what we've been open 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
And then for you guys, what are you guys looking for to talk about in the podcast?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'll go. For me, it's all about reaching more people. Like my history is in like I was a paramedic, and so I was used to seeing a ton of people, like helping, 15 to 30, 40 people a day, like more of a group setting, helping more people. So when I went to telehealth, I was like, okay, I've got 5 hours to see a few people, and when my kids are in school, because like I can't see patients when my kids are home. So I'm like, how do I reach more people? I feel like there's so much out there that people don't know about with mental health. There's so many more resources. I feel like a lot of people probably think like, oh, I don't want to go see a psychiatrist. They're just going to give me a prescription and hurry me out the door. And like our practice and our world view of like mental health, I think is unique. So I just want to share with more people, basically help as many people as we can.
Yeah, I like that. I'm right on board, especially with podcasts and YouTube. You can reach a lot of people. It's the way people get information out these days is social media. So,
Yep.
What about you, Kate?
My background is I originally got my clinical hours in a ski town, like Jackson, Wyoming. I went to grad school in another mountain town, and I wanted to be able to have a profession that allowed me to have flexibility and allowed me to contribute value to my life in a way that I find fascinating, like working with individuals and being able to step outside of myself and into understanding their world a little bit. The telehealth has been really useful, being able to utilize technology like the screen sharing and being able to do things collaboratively with these people in session is so neat. And even utilizing like, body doubling and doing things like bring me with you, show me what's in your house.
Totally. I like that too.
It's so neat. It's so neat just to be able to get a glimpse into their worlds. Like the kid is on the screen. Oh my gosh, let's utilize your child in session. Like, let's utilize, like, you don't need to hush your child away. Like, let's bring them in. Let's utilize this because this is your life and we don't need to pretend that it's not. And that's been really cool about technology is it's not like a sterile or telehealth. It's not like a sterile setting as much where you come into the office and it's like an escape from the reality. It's like you're integrated into your patient's worlds. And I've been surprised by that.
Yeah.
And how neat it is. Yeah.
I wonder, Kate, with you too, are people more open because they're more comfortable in their own home? Because I see a little bit of that. I see people who are like, they'll, pick up the phone from bed and they're like, I just woke up, but I made it. And I'm like, good for you for making it. Because like, I feel like a lot of the people who would not book the appointment, like they had to go in person, they just wouldn't do it. That's true. I think there's a lot of authenticity and people feeling more comfortable being open by telehealth is what I found.
Yeah, absolutely. And if people are more comfortable, it's more accessible. Mm-hmm. And regardless, regardless of the setting, people still want to be able to be like emote and be able to move through their experience. And I found that there was a part of me that was like, oh, is online going to be less? Are you going to be less immediacy and like reading people and tracking people in the moment? But if anything, it's more because you have such awareness of people's facial expressions and how they're interacting with themselves and with me. And people are just as tearful. Sorry, people, so yeah, I definitely find that people are way more comfortable in a way that we need, especially now in this day and age.
Totally. Yeah. And that ties into the original question about why we want to do the podcast, because the more we can bring this out, the more comfortable more people are going to feel. They're going to be like, oh, this doesn't have to be so scary, like white coat syndrome, clinical. Maybe I can do this. Because I think a lot of people have like a misconception that treating your mental health is very like institutional or, I don't know the right word for it. Intimidating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And stigmatized, oh, I'm from the Midwest, I don't do that,
Right. Totally.
Yeah. And it's just like, I hear that. And yeah, I hear that. And I want to but at the same time, let's, you're engaging in this kind of material daily regardless. So,
right.
Yeah. I mean, it's human nature. Everything we deal with is what we all deal with every day with all of our relationships, all of our business relationships. It's just navigating it with different tools and people who have learned how to get through life a little bit easier. So also I want to just go through, if somebody were to randomly ask us, what is Stability Mental Health and what do you offer? Like, how would you explain our practice to someone?
It's a good question. For me, when we were first putting this together, Danny, you've been with me since day one. I really wanted it to bridge the gap between, prescription Western medicine and all natural holistic, you need to meditate all day to treat your mental health. There's such a huge disconnect between the worlds, and I really wanted to bring it together. And stability, like the name was, the idea was just to feel stable, consistency, to endure life and to endure the ups and downs of life. It's not about being perfect. It's not about putting a label on somebody's chart and sending a prescription off to the pharmacy. Like, where's the middle ground where it's okay to talk about your mental health? Not everything needs a diagnosis, not everything meets criteria or needs a label on it. So I really wanted to touch on that huge gap.
I love that. That's a really great vision too, is not everything deserves a medication right away too. Or it does, or it's short term, or there's so many different scenarios And I feel like some medicine or medical practices put everything into a box, and it's all so nuanced. It's never in a box. So I like that about Stability Mental Health for sure. Kate, how would you explain it, or what kind of patients would you see come to us to see you for therapy?
Usually how I introduce the practice to patients that have not seen Courtney before, I just love like that and what drew me to your practice was that it's small and it's women owned and women run. And I was, and there's just like this part of me that's just like so bought into that. And I think too, like it's just so much to the care that's provided and this authenticity and this genuineness that a lot of healthcare lacks. And I like to bring that to my patients. Like when I started as a therapist, I think I was kind of trained in this very like psychodynamic Freudian, you are a blank slate. And then I quickly realized that was so unsustainable. I was just like, I can't, it's like that, like, and sometimes, yeah, but also like I am part of what is so therapeutic is the relational connection. And that in itself can be healing. So that was what initially drew me to this practice. And that's how I sell it to, or not sell it, but like how I introduce it to people. I'm like, there's also another woman who's the owner and she's really rad and she can help with the other side of care. And it's the accessibility of that. And it can be so immediate that I just plug them into your schedule is just so rare. And then we can, collaborate in a way that feels really holistic and like integrated and customized in a way that you don't get at like hospitals or community counseling centers. And just love that.
I love that too. That made me think of, because we're so small and we don't really hire outside of our little niche or, outside of the country even. I feel like this is a big, important topic. I feel like some practices get so big that you have to hire small, like where you pay really little for somebody to check all your credentialing, or you kind of parcel out all these practices and then it becomes less and less personal. So it's like on a business end, obviously we want to grow, but how big can you get without stretching yourselves too thin? So that's what I love about Stability Mental Health too, is like you were saying, creating those relationships. Patients want to trust who they're talking to, whether it's your therapist or the front desk person. Life is really hard and they want to trust that their mental health is being taken care of because that runs their entire life. So I love that we provide that tightness, that smallness, that trust with patients. That's kind of most important to us too. We're not just running through patients every day for $1. We want it to be a good experience and benefit their lives.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I thought we could go through, you guys kind of did explain your credentials a little bit, but if each of you want to kind of talk about like what you did for schooling, what made you want to go into this field and how you started.
Do you want to go first, Kate?
Oh man, I'm trying to decide how honest I want to be about why I got into this field.
I felt the same thing. That's why I was like, do you want to go first? Because like some people, I've been judged before for my path because it was not conventional. So I'm going to be candid. I'm going to make the choice to be very transparent.
Yeah, I'll be candid too. Okay. I would share this therapeutically with a patient. And it's so funny how just like life, just like we just get knocked in directions and make a decision and then we figure it out. Mm-hmm. And I guess like my path was when I left my college experience, I had a degree in anthropology and economics, and I did no idea what I wanted to do. So I went and lived abroad for 8 years, and I ran gap year programs for kids, like out of high school. And I was a instructor, and I lived in like Asia and in South America, and I became fluent in Spanish, and I gained a lot of life experience, and then came back to the States in 2018, maybe, after having my heart broken. And I went and saw a therapist for the first time because I was just really struggling. and also a psychiatrist. And just because I was really struggling, and I needed extra support that my family didn't know what to do with. And I was looking for direction at that time. And I was like, I think I'd be really good at this. And she's like, excellent at this. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to go to grad school and become a counselor. Thank you, Lydia. Appreciate you. And that's what got me into it. And then, I got some experience in a psych hospital, and I worked there for a year, and then went to grad school, worked during grad school doing inpatient as well, and then kind of did clinical hours and did some trainings. And that's, years down the line, here I am independently licensed in 3 states, and with a full caseload. So that's how I got into it. And I'm grateful to be on this journey still.
That's
awesome.
a good journey. I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that you lived abroad for 8 years. That's wild.
It's a little candid, but I would share that with a patient if they were struggling and going through a similar situation.
Yeah.
Quite the
What about you, Courtney?
I'm like that. Okay. So I've been in healthcare forever. I was an EMT when I was 19 in Cerritos, California. And my dad got sick with ALS. And so I was in the medical world professionally and then thrown into it personally from a pretty young age. So I was like, I'm good at this. It's exciting to me. I liked emergency medicine a lot. Like, it was always something new. I went to paramedic school at UCLA when I was 21. Got that. It's complicated, but you had to work for the fire department to run 911 in LA. So the closest place I could be a paramedic on my own was Vegas. So I moved to Vegas. Meanwhile, my dad had passed away just like 5 months after his diagnosis. So I had a little splash of that personally. I stayed in it professionally, was a paramedic for 5 years in Las Vegas, got pretty burned out pretty quickly working on the Strip at night, like year after year after year, living in a house with 4 other guys, graduates from our paramedic program, and everybody eventually went their own ways. I did a paramedic to nurse bridge program through Excelsior College in Albany. So all of my academic work was virtual with them. And then the clinicals were in person. So I had to find my own, I did clinicals in Atlanta, Georgia, in Las Vegas. Like, I was kind of all over the place to get my hands on stuff. Ended up moving to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, because also some heartbreak with an ex-boyfriend in Las Vegas. And then worked as a nurse in the float pool, just kind of all around, because I had the skills to like be dynamic like that from being a paramedic. So I worked kind of all around the place. During COVID, I did travel nursing. So I was in the ERs during COVID. Like, where were we? Bend, Beaverton, Oregon, Warner Brothers studio in LA, like doing the COVID swabs while they were filming. Like, but I loved it. I'm like good at chaos. So got my master's in nursing leadership and management. I thought I would like try something more slow paced. After I got that, I was like, absolutely not. I cannot do that. I need something more fast paced, I guess. So anyways, then I got my postmaster's psych nurse practitioner. That's where I stopped with schooling. That's where I landed. I always knew I was going to do remote because I want to travel. I have kids full time, so I needed that flexibility. I wanted to move back home to Southern California. So I have licenses in lots of states, 5 or 6 at this point. And I love it. I love the flexibility. I love the, meeting new people, the going in depth. This is the first time that I'm talking for so long. Oh my God. So sorry, but like, this is the first time that I've been able to like see through, like, normally I only had a patient for 30 minutes, an hour at a time, and I never knew how it ended. Now I have the same patients for years. So I love that part of it. I'm getting to like have that experience that I didn't have before. And I don't plan on doing anything else. This is it. I'll just expand on mental health. There's a huge need for it. The mind-body connection that I've had the privilege of like learning about and experiencing is undeniable. I think that's one like asset that I bring to the table that maybe a lot of psych providers can't, is that I've done so much of the medical stuff and see how interconnected the mind and body is, because I've done both. I did the medical, and then I did the mental health, and tying it together now.
I love it. And you are the start of Stability Mental Health. So I love that it led you to this. We now can help so many people from you linking all that and just taking the risk to start your own little business. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. So how I got started here is I was a vet tech for many years. I worked in the animal world, and then I moved into different types of, I worked at an eye clinic, so seeing human medical stuff from there. Worked at an eye clinic, and then I got into mortgage. So I did all the administrative stuff for a mortgage company. I was a manager at animal hospitals. I really thrive in customer service and administrative. I can do all the medical stuff too, but for some reason my brain, I think I am a little on the spectrum. So my brain works better in administrative things. So Courtney, actually, when she started, I think you were about a year in, needed a new biller to come in. And I was like, well, I used to bill for dental insurance. I'm sure I could figure it out, though. I'm smart. I've worked in many different fields, and I could figure out anything, actually. So Courtney and I were like, she's like, okay, well, I can't pay you a lot right away. And I'm like, that's totally fine. I'll just learn it. Let's just see how this goes. And 3 years later, here we are. I feel like I jumped in head first. Courtney trusted me, not knowing. I mean, we know each other from childhood. We know each other from a very long time ago. So she trusted me to help her and link all the new processes and administrative stuff and hiring and billing. And it just grew and grew and grew. And it's amazing how well we collaborate. And I think it's kind of just the perfect scenario. And bringing Kate in has been amazing. We only had a nurse practitioner for a long time, so we really wanted to link therapy with medication, and it's really a perfect mix.
We needed, and we waited it took us a long time to find the right person.
It really did.
Well, you guys trusted me too. I think that was that there was a lot of mutual respect and trust, and that speaks a lot to not having bureaucratic systems in place as much, but also just recognizing just kind of take. It seems like there's been a lot of kind of taking gambles and then things panning out in this practice.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep. Well, that's kind of about us and who we are. We do also have another nurse practitioner. Her name is Keelan. She's wonderful too. She's actually jumping into learning about the functional world right now. So we have so many ideas for this practice, and we're just so lucky to have the opportunity to just grow and bloom and join in with other people or medicine, different ways to help treat mental health. So we're very, very lucky. I wanted to do, just to kind of round this out, do you guys have another topic? I wanted to kind of end with doing a rapid fire, asking you guys just quick questions. Did you guys have one more other thing that you wanted to kind of add in for our first one?
I think I talked enough for 4 episodes, so I'm
No, you didn't.
You're the intro is useful just to
cut it all out.
I know. All right. So I have a few questions. I will just say them, and then how about Courtney answer first and then Kate answer second, the same question. And just quick, your answer can be 5 words, 1 word, whatever you feel is great.
You have to get me a timer. We start playing the music at the Grammys, wrap this up.
I feel like I'm in the Ellen DeGeneres show. I'm very here for this. This is great.
All right, here we go. What mental health myth annoys you the most?
I know that if you drink coffee and it doesn't affect you, you must have ADHD.
Yes.
I can't with that. It's not true. It's not true.
Or if it puts you to sleep,
yes,
you have ADHD.
Yes. Coffee is not a diagnostic tool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That SSRIs and antidepressants are alone gonna make you feel better. Yeah. It is a scaffolding. It helps with the brain chemistry, but there needs to be behavioral change in the ways that we view and we conceptualize and we engage with our world.
Yes.
100%. Love that. All right. This kind of goes off of what you just said. Medication or therapy, which question annoys you more?
I feel dumb for not understanding the question. Which question, like when people ask about therapy or medication?
I think, okay, how I'm reading it is like, if people are asking you, should I do medication or therapy?
Yeah, therapy first, always, 100%.
Okay.
Like I mean, like, and I tell everybody this, when I first get a patient, I'm like, when do we need to order blood work? When was the last time you were in therapy? You know, how's your nutrition? How's your sleep? Like, if you're not laying the foundation, the medication is not going to do anything. Like an SSRI uses the serotonin that you have more efficiently. It's a reuptake inhibitor. It's not giving you anything. You have to go get it. You have to build your serotonin with like nutrition and sleep and therapy, so you can learn how to de-stress and all of that. Totally.
Yeah.
Before medication.
And Kate, I guess you can answer it in the different way. Like, is there a question that not annoys you, because, you know, patients don't annoy us, but is there a question that maybe people have learned maybe on TikTok or something and you're like, no?
Something I struggle. So, okay. Yeah. So this is one that I struggle with, is that people just assume that counseling and therapy, the goal is to be happy. And I'm just, you know, I think it's a healthier reframe to say, you know, it's not that we're just going to we live in a system and we don't live in a container. And it's not a matter of automatically living a life that is joyful and euphoric, because then I'd be worried about you being incredibly manic.
Yeah. You'd be seeing me.
Yeah, I'm like no, like it's like no, it's not feeling. It's not that we don't want to feel. It's that we need to get better at feeling.
Right.
And yeah, that for me is like we have this like myth in our mind that it's we're going to be hunky dory, and it's not a matter of everything becoming amazing in our world, but how do we allow ourselves to move through these things in a way that's more helpful for our life and to construct a life we're living. Yeah. So that one is hard for me, but
I like that.
My patients have heard me say that like 1,000 times, so they're getting tired of it.
All right. So next one for Courtney. What's one thing patients should know before their first psychiatric appointment?
That's a good one too. Before their first psychiatric appointment, that their daily habits are going to matter way more than any medication I'm going to prescribe. The way they're sleeping, how many hours they're on their phone, how isolated they are from other humans. There's no pill that I can give to even come close to combating that. Like, your lifestyle outweighs whatever you think a pill is going to do significantly. There are some medications that can be life-changing for some people. Off the top of my mind, significant ADHD, if you give the proper medication, will bring people to tears, because they're like, I didn't know I could feel so calm and rational and focused. So there are some exceptions where it does make a huge difference. But before going into a psychiatric appointment, I would say take inventory of your day-to-day just to keep your expectations like realistic.
Yes. I like that. And how about before their first therapy appointment?
You can share as much or as little as you feel comfortable. And if that's just, feeling like a safe presence who's non-judgmental, then that is enough. There's just a lot of myths around it being a space where you sit on a couch, and some people do that, and that's just not my style. But, you show up as you are, and that is enough. And you bring your messy, everyone's doing their messy best, and let's allow that non-judgmentally. And sometimes I have to I tell that people are so nervous, and I'm like, hey, let's just, it takes time. And I just hope people can show up as they are.
I like that.
Yeah. I love that. All right, we'll do 2 more here. What's one thing the healthcare system makes unnecessarily difficult?
Prior authorizations. Prior authorizations.
Yes.
Why? Who made this rule? Why is it this way? Who is sitting behind a desk somewhere telling me what medication to prescribe for my patient?
Are you sure you want to prescribe this medication? But are you sure again?
Say it again.
But tell me their diagnosis 5 more times.
They've been taking it and doing well for 6 months. I don't think we want to pay for this anymore. Tell us why we should pay
It
for it.
almost makes us cry. Prior authorizations are terrible. What about you, Kate? I heard you say something.
I just don't like all the hoops that consumers or even the label consumers have to jump through.
Yeah.
You know, I just think there's so many barriers to access to care.
Yes.
And it's
I
hard
agree.
because and I just, you know, it's like, I don't know. I will get up on my pedestal and on my pulpit or whatever and say it all day, but we all really need access to healthcare. And it is really discouraging. And it's discouraging for me, and I can't even imagine how discouraging it must be for people who struggle to pay their bills, or and it's just struggle to even make an appointment, and due to their the situations and those stressors in their world. So yeah, I just there's so many barriers and so many obstacles, and I wish we could shift this system to be more inclusive, and that's it.
I like that too. I also, that does frustrate me often too about our system. Okay, just one more, just to kind of get this out. What topic are you most nervous for us to discuss on this podcast?
Oh man, I would say if I don't want to give you any ideas,
I know I'm gonna type it.
I would say I have a hard time if I have to reflect. I'm really good at, this is what we should do. I understand neuroscience. I understand the connection between the brain and the gut. But when it applies to my life, there's a lot I'm not good at. There's a lot that I preach all day to people, and then you'll find me drinking coffee and eating chocolate until 4 p.m. That makes me uncomfortable because I feel like I should be a better role model. So I would say the personal stuff.
Yeah. So when we do our episode where you have a therapy session with Kate, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to make you so uncomfortable.
That would be awesome.
My high functioning girls out there, I'm so sorry. I make you guys super uncomfortable because I want you to confront it all.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes.
Great.
That'd be great.
We're hanging in there.
I love it. I'm here for it. Like I said, I'm going to be candid. I'm going to lean into this. I want everybody to see that we're all human. Like you said, Kate, we're all doing our best out here. It's messy. So I'm here for it. I think that's great.
Yeah. Kate, do you have a topic that makes you nervous, or are you just ready to dive in?
My hot take is that my hot take is ADHD, and I really want to I think there's an area of professional growth for me there, but there's so much I do not know, and I think that makes me, there's some insecurity there with that, but just because I don't know what I don't know yet, and I think that and that's that. How things are changing with ADHD socially and culturally. And is it chicken or the egg, and there's a lot there that I really would love to, makes me just pause in a good way, in a way of excitement. Yeah.
If it makes me feel any better, I've been specializing in this for 4 years now. And there's stuff I don't know all the time, or stuff that catches me off guard where it's well, I learned it this way, but then I see it differently in practice. Yeah. So it's I'm always learning. That's the coolest part about it, is there's no two people who show up the exact same way with ADHD. People come in oh, I don't think I have it because of this. And it's did you know that, hypermobility and GI issues are completely tied in with ADHD? And they're what? There's so much out there, and we learn more and more all the time. So we'll learn together. It's an ongoing process.
I want a podcast of just teaching me. That would be lovely. Just talking about it. Listen to you talk about it all day.
Yeah. We'll talk about everything.
Let's do it. All right, ladies. Great first episode, I hope. We might watch this back in 6 months and just cringe. Hopefully we're still doing it.
Yeah. But we'll get a lot better. So we're going to look back at this and be oh no.
Yeah, we will.
And we'll have a name by then.
We'll have a name. And if anybody is watching this, all 2 to 5 of you, if you have any topics you want us to discuss, whether you're a provider, a patient, you want to start a company, or you just want to get into therapy or psychiatry or billing, whatever question or topics you might have, put them somewhere. I don't know where. Put them in the comments.
We're really good at figuring stuff out. We have the confidence in us that we had in each other. We will figure it out.
Everything is figure outable.
Right.
All right.
Bye.
See y'all next time.
Bye.
Bye.